Team of the season, Rabiot. Let's go through it, break it down. How good is this card actually? He's coming in at 92 rated. Centre mid, CDM, and a cam. Very versatile player from the Serie A and from France. So you already know chemistry is not going to be an issue. Just a really well-rounded card, to be honest with you. Great centre mid. I use him as a cam for a few games, use him as a centre mid for a few games. He did all right as a cam, I'm not going to lie. For me, though, this is never a cam. Right, it's more of a centre mid. Even CDM, he's not bad there, but I just think he excels as a centre mid. We're going to go through why in a second, but I just think out of the three, you're going to get the most value out of him as a centre midfielder for sure. Right, that's where I think he's going to be really good for you. Starting off with the first pro, it kind of ties back to that point. He is a complete centre mid. Every single one of his stats is green, high green. I know you expect that at this stage of the game from a 90 plus rated card, but he's got like 90 pace, 88 shooting, 90 passing, 92 dribbling, 88 defending, 93 physicality, right? So he's going to basically excel in every single stat, and that's just ideal for a midfielder. Where with a cam, you want a little bit more passing, you want a little bit more stuff like that. You're not really worried about the defending and the physical, right? With a CDM, you probably want a little bit more defending. You're not really worried about the shooting and stuff like that. So I just think that as a centre mid, he's perfect because he could really string together the passes. He could connect the defense to the attack, and his playstyles really suit that, which we're going to discuss in a moment. The next pro, his height and physicality. I think it's so important for one of your midfielders to just be able to win headers, be able to win the second ball, to be an offensive threat, to be a defensive threat. You see it right there. Like, look at the timing as I say that, right? Let me back away. Like, the gameplay just in the background, but it's so funny, the timing, as I said that. Look at this guy. He tries to clear the ball. Rabiot's right there. Look at that. He's just in the way. And he's just having that defensive unit. He's just so annoying. And I feel like it does make a difference having a physical defensive unit. Look, right there, wins the ball back. Like, the amount of times the AI itself was in the right position with Rabiot, and he was just so physical. He just wins the second tackles, and just really annoying. Like, a lot of the time, his work was done off the ball or in the start of the attack. Even there, look at the shield. Look at the defensive duties. Look at that. Look at that. Defending, boom. Gets a nice shot off. So he just so physical. 92 strength. 6 foot like 3 or 4. What was it? Let me see. 6'3", you know what I'm saying? Like, he's just going to be a unit in that midfield, which is exactly what you need. And the last one we kind of went through was his passing and his passing playstyles, especially as a midfielder, right? We really look at passing, but he's 5-star weak foot with great passing. Now, if you actually take a deep look into his passing stats, which we're going to do shortly, he actually has only 70 free kick accuracy. That actually lowers his overall passing. His long passing is 90 and his short passing is 94. So that with 5-star weak foot and the playstyles, you could basically spring passes all across the pitch, left, right, close, long, and he does a really good job at it. So let's take a deeper dive into his playstyles. But the only con I did have for this card is his defensive side. If you want to use him as a CDM, which I think a lot of people would want to use him as, I don't think he quite has the defensive playstyles as other CDMs. So you could definitely do okay. He could do the job there, but I think you could find better players for the similar price or cheaper that could be a better CDM. Like, he didn't have Jockey Plus, he didn't have certain defensive playstyles, so he's a very good centre mid. I don't think he excels as a cam or a CDM. Okay, let's take a look at his playstyles into more detail now. I can kind of leave the gameplay in the background. So, starting off with his base stats, I'll kind of go through the gameplay and show you the cards as well. So let's take a quick look at the images, and then we'll go back to the gameplay. His pace, pretty solid. You don't really need more than that for his role. Really good there, right? His shooting as well, we're looking at mainly the long shot at 86, which is not bad. His shot power at 92, which is not bad at all. And his finishing at 88. So it's actually good for shooting. Again, he's not going to be in scenarios where he's your main attacking outlet, so just having that shooting is not bad at all. His passing is where I really look at, and the one that you always wanted to keep an eye on is free kick accuracy, right? Because that's going to lower his passing, which is actually good, because what that means is if you exclude that, he has very high passing, which is what we need. So his short passing is the one I probably look at the most, and vision and long passing, and he has very good stats there. I also think crossing is not as important for my playstyle, but if something you look at, you could look at the crossing. Then you go to his dribbling. His dribbling is very good considering his height, and it's actually nice as a centre mid, because sometimes you want your centre mids to dribble out of situations. So he actually has really good dribbling for that as well, which is nice to see. The funny thing is defensively, where I want him probably, I think if this card was a bit more defensively tuned, I would actually use him as a CDM. But if you actually look at his defending, it's good. It's just not amazing. It's like good. It's really good. But he actually has better dribbling and passing than defensive. So that's why I don't think he's the best CDM. I think he's really tuned in for a centre mid. So 95 heading accuracy, which is nice to have. Again, that physical presence. 84 defensive awareness. That's quite low. Again, for a CDM. Standing tackle at 90, which is pretty good. And slide tackle at 84, which is okay. Then you go to his physicality, 98 jumping, incredible. 98 stamina, really undervalued stat, especially for a midfielder. Having an engine like that just allows him to go all game long, and you need your centre-mids to have the biggest engine. So that's something to look out for. Really good stat from him. 92 strength, 87 aggression. Now we take a look at his playstyles, right? If you, oh, 1 second. Yeah, we actually look at his playstyles now, kind of like we just spoke about. So in terms of offense, so as a cam, he doesn't have finesse shot, which is kind of unfortunate. He has precision header, which is nice, and he has low driven. So I would personally, if you get in the box, just use low driven. He doesn't have any playstyle pluses, so I would just use the low driven. Your best chance of scoring with him is the low driven for sure. Then you have his passing. Now, incisive pass, again, for my cams, I want incisive passing plus for those double tap Y, those through balls. He doesn't have that. So it's still good. It's just not amazing. Now, pinged pass, what I would say is if you have a striker like, let me find Wilson. This is just a tip that I would recommend. If you have Sophia Wilson, right, who I think is so good in this game, do you see that she has first touch plus? So what happens is when you ping a pass into that type of striker, they're able to control it really well as if you did a normal pass. So if you have a combination of, say, Rabiot there, for example, and somebody with that first touch, I would recommend RBNA, like full power, into your attacker, right? Because their first touch, boom, is going to control it well. So that's something to look out for. Just be careful with that, but it's really strong. You can see passes travel much faster along the ground without impacting the trapping difficulty of the receiver. So you could actually ping a ball and it will make them less likely to fumble the touch. But if you have that and first touch on your striker, it's actually a perfect combo. You could basically do insane passes and it just receives with no stress at all. Then you have Tika Taka, which I think as a centre mid is super crucial. This makes him, again, makes or breaks a card for me for centre mid to become an S tier, and this card has it, which is amazing. When we look at defensively, again, this is where I think he's lacking a little bit. For me, I like anticipate and intercept. I want one of my, if I have a CDM, I want him to have one of these plus. I want him to have one of these gold, right, playstyle pluses. Also, I want him to have jockey. I really like having jockey for you can kind of just jockey around as your DM and let the AI control. So that's what I think is missing. And just stuff like that. So I do think defensively he's not amazing. If you look at ball control, this is more dribbling. I'm not really fussed with. Again, he has first touch, which is quite nice. The other one as well is press proven, which is really good as well. This is nice to shield the ball. So I think he protects the ball really well. Again, adding over why he's a good midfielder for me, because he's able to protect the ball and spring the passes. So his biggest strengths are passing and protecting the ball rather than defending. He's not really a destroyer. He's more of a traveler with the ball. Okay, if you go to his physical as well, he has bruiser, which is nice. It gives him greater strength. But again, he doesn't have relentless. He doesn't have quick step's not that deep, but he doesn't have relentless. He doesn't have enforcer, right? So he's not able to, he doesn't have that defensive or physical playstyles that I'm looking for CDM personally. But he's really good as a centre mid. That's kind of where I'll end it on. So if you're looking for a centre mid, he is a very good card. Give me 1 second. Let me go back to the other scene for you guys. Yeah, if you're looking for a centre mid, he's a really good card. He's kind of expensive for his role, 90k. I think I haven't really seen other people in the market. Like, I haven't looked too much, but I think you could get people probably cheaper. I think it comes down to, again, what you're using him for. If you're using him for a CDM, I would probably go somewhere else. But you know right there what we just saw. This is where I think he was actually really good. Like, let's show you this again. So I lost the ball in attack. I'm losing on the counter-attack. Just look what the AI does with Rabiot. Rabiot's right there, right? Look what the AI does. As I'm going through, look, AI literally intercepts that. So the AI was amazing. And then look, basically goes through, pings pass, and he's already on the attack. Even right there, shields the ball. So his highlights show like how good he was. And a lot of these games were in cam for me. Just because of the other players I had in the team, I ended up leaving him as cam. And look, he's involved in the 1-2. Look at that. Again, ping pass him and Bruno G. And again, he's really useful in those areas. I just think passing is his strongest suit. Those 1-2 touches like that is where I really got the most value from him. So if you're going to use him, main strengths, utilize his passing. Don't rely on him as a CDM. He does stuff like that, which is amazing. But I don't think he should be your main CDM. I think he should be your ball-carrying CDM. I think when I look at Rabiot, I think he's more defensive, but after using him, I actually like his offense a little bit more. So utilize that. He's a great ball carrying centre mid. Look at that right there. Bruno G into Xhaka 1-2. Look at that. Rabiot's in cam, takes his time there. Doesn't do much, so I don't know why that's a highlight, but he was involved in the play. Look at that right there. RBNA, boom, on the offense. So yeah, great card. I actually liked it. Bit pricey, but if he fits your squad and you're looking for a centre mid, give him a go. I think you'll like him. Overall, I'll give him a solid rating. I don't really like rating cards because, I don't know, I struggled with rating cards, but it was good. He was a really good card. Like, yeah, I'll give him like an 8er. I guess he's around that level for me. Around 90k. He could be S tier if he was a bit cheaper because he'll be like a hidden gem, but for 90k, like, you're getting your value. I'll give him like a nice 8er. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll catch you guys for another review later on today. Peace.